Alrighty there, gamers. What's up, everybody? My name is Sen, and welcome to the very first upload of our Dragon Ball FighterZ tutorial. Now, if you come on over here, there's already a tutorial that's already built into the game, but I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. It teaches you like the bare essentials, but it doesn't really teach you anything above and beyond when it comes to that. So that's kind of what I'm here for. I'm a little bit more of an advanced player. I'm not like a crazy great player or anything like that, but I know enough to kind of help you out, get you guys started, and get you on your way to some slightly more advanced things. Alrighty there, so now that we've made it to character select for training mode, you're just going to pick whatever characters you feel like, whether that's my characters, your team. If you already have one, you can random select a team, whatever you feel like. A lot of this stuff is going to be universal between every character, so we don't really have to get character specific at this point in time. So I'm just going to pick Blue Goku, Trunks, and then for a final example, I'm going to be picking Vegito. The colors definitely matter, by the way. Plus 10 damage. Alright, getting started, I was asked by a friend, because I'm a bit more of an advanced player at this point in time, that, hey, I should consider doing some lessons for you guys, and that's what we're here to do now. We're going to start very basic, and the first thing we're getting started with is movement. Now, like I said, chances are you're probably rolling your eyes, but movement is so important for this game just because there's a lot going on. There's multiple assists. There's you moving around the screen as well. There's so much going on. You got ki blast. You got special moves flying around. Stuff gets crazy. So moving around and learning to navigate the space is so important. I can't stress that enough. The main reason why you kind of want to get more comfy and like learn all this stuff is, you know, you're going to need some movement options to chase down your opponent, but you're also going to want those same options or maybe different options to avoid your opponent, be a little bit more slippery. At some points, you're not going to have assists behind you. It's going to be down to your final character, and you relying on assists, it's not going to happen. It's just going to be you solo. So I'm going to start with very basic, and then as things get more complicated, I'm going to explain a bit more in detail. But first things first, we have the walk forward and walk back. It's very simple. It's one of the first things you learn how to do. Just walk forward, walk back. This comes into play for sure for minor movement, but a lot of what you're going to be doing is dashing. So if you don't know how to dash, I'm very surprised for one, but that's okay. All you have to do is double tap forward or double tap back. Double tapping back gives you a back dash, obviously enough. Double tapping forward gives you a continuous forward dash. It's not like Street Fighter. You don't just get a dash and then a dash and have to keep on dashing. Once you are dashing forward, you will continue your momentum. So now with back dash though, back dash is pretty important. Obviously forward dash is important too, but back dash is kind of a defensive mechanic in some certain situations. The main place this will actually come up in is off of vanish. So players are going to vanish a lot. If you don't know how to vanish, it's just medium plus heavy, and you push those together and you get vanish. You can bind a keybind for it, but I don't really find it to be necessary. I just vanish like normal. So why this comes up, or the reason that this comes up, is when you actually block a vanish. So I'm going to set my opponent to guard all, and I'm going to vanish, and you'll see that at the frame advantage, it has that 2 in brackets. It means I'm +2 or at advantage by 2 frames. So if you don't know what that means, I know this is a little bit advanced, and I know that we're not talking about movement at this moment, but with frame advantage, because I'm +2, if myself and this other Goku Blue do our fastest attack, do our light attack, the player that is at advantage will win, and I will be faster by 2 frames. Does that make sense? I hope so. So now, like I said, backdash comes into play because of those 2 frames. You can backdash at advantage of 2 frames or less and escape pressure. I've done this so many times. It's actually a bit of a bad habit where I do it a bit too much, but it's good to know. So you'll see. I have my opponent do a vanish and then just 3 lights in a row. I'm going to try to challenge, and you'll see what happens. Okay, so you saw how that happened. We both pressed light at the same time, but because the Goku that vanished was at advantage by 2 frames, he hit me. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, I want to show you guys using backdash as a defensive mechanic. So what we're going to do is, instead of blocking and try to challenge, we're going to block the vanish and backdash after we block the vanish. And just like that, we blocked the vanish, and because Goku was whiffing, we managed to get a little combo off on him. Alright, moving on from dashing, we are going to be moving on to jumps. Jumps are pretty important in this game. You're going to be jumping a lot. People jump all the time in this game. You have a couple different varieties of jumps, but I should start by saying that you have 2 air actions. Now, what this means, and I'll go into greater detail than that, is essentially you can jump twice. So I can jump straight up, I can jump up and then up forward, up and then up back, up forward, up back. You guys kind of get the idea. This is good with like playing with the range, making your opponent think you're going to go in and then jumping right back. You're kind of like feinting, or you can jump back and jump forward at them. You get the idea. All right, so moving on from just basic jumping, which you're going to be doing a lot, but you also have access to a super jump as well. You can jump super high up into the sky. This only takes up 1 air action, so you can jump right after that. But the cool thing about super jumping is that it enables a kind of float mechanic. So you can come down normally, or you can actually hold up and kind of descend slowly. You could see how I descended a bit slower, but you could also kind of move around a bit. Like, it becomes a bit more analog. I can kind of like move back a little bit. It's very weird. So let's add another layer to jumping. We have not just a dash on the ground, but much like Guilty Gear, and air dash as well. So I can jump up and double tap forward or double tap back, and I can dash forward in the air or dash back. This is really good for disengaging or engaging in the air, just navigating the screen around assists and stuff like that. This is going to be extremely helpful. Now, the next step above air dashing, which I don't want this one to be abused too much, because after I learned this technique that I'm about to talk about, I kind of never stopped using it, which I just did it there. That's the instant air dash. It's going to be your lowest air dash that you can possibly do. It's very fast. It's very good for quick, ambiguous overheads, and kind of keeps your opponent guessing. It's very hard to block, but you can be conditioned and you can block these pretty consistently with enough practice. You'll kind of know when they're coming almost. It's a little bit of a raid, but you can definitely react to these as well. So how you actually get an instant air dash to happen is, instead of like jumping and then double tapping forward, it's literally just up, forward, and forward very fast. Definitely practicing this both forwards and backwards is pretty key. It gets you around the screen pretty quickly. It's really good for pressure or disengaging pretty fast. It's a very useful tool, but don't let it be the basis of your movement. Use these other tools as well. Use your super jumps and stuff like that, super jump, float. All of this is super good, so make use of it. All right, the dreaded movement mechanic that I definitely avoided talking about up until this point, and that is the super dash. Super dash is very good, it's very strong, but it is a crutch for sure. It is a homing dash from anywhere on the screen. It doesn't count as an air action. You can do it at any point in time. You can do it off the ground, you can jump and do it, you can super jump or double jump and do it. Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, it's part of your combos as well. Do not let this be the basis of your movement. Use these other tools. There's a reason I talked about super dash last. A very strong thing to use is super dash plus assist. This will get you very far for a very long time, and it still works even at my level and above my level as well. Super dashing plus assist, very good. It keeps you at advantage if your opponent blocks the super dash, or if they get hit by it, it's easy combos. So the reason I talked about this last is because, like I said, it's a crutch, but if you are too predictable with your super dashes, they can 110% be punished. 2H is going to be your best friend against someone who just can't resist super dashing. And even calling in an assist as well, like, it won't always save you. So if Goku calls an assister like late to cover him, it doesn't matter if you just get 2H, like, you're still going to get comboed. But let's call an assist early as well. Best you can do is keep yourself safe. So if you're too predictable with this, you can get punished pretty good. I already said this is very strong. It'll get you very far, but there's going to be a point where you're down to your last character because you are enabled by super dash plus assist and maybe relied on it so much that if you're down to your last character, you won't have assist to cover you. You're neutral. You're not going to know how to play the neutral because you're relying so much on this strong tool. And when you don't have anything to cover you, you're just going to get punished because you're so obvious with it. That is a very big fault of lower level players. They just start panicking when they don't have assists anymore. It's an important tool. It's good to use the tool, but take advantage of your other resources. Use your super jumps, use your double jumps, use everything in your arsenal. And especially to this last point, use the tools that are in your kit. For this example, I'm actually going to use Vegito. Vegito has a lot of things that are at his disposal. He has a ridiculous 5M that counts as movement. It gets him so far across the screen. It's so fast. This is one of your movement tools. Another movement tool, he has a command grab. It sends him up in the air. He does kind of get to move around after this. Alright, so even with Goku Blue has a couple of different movement options as well, not just with his normal moves like 2M. 2M is definitely going to be one of his best advancing normal attacks, but with his special moves as well. Goku has really good special moves for getting around the screen. He has his shoulder tackle, which is quarter circle forward and any button, which is light, medium, or heavy as well. As you can see, it moves him behind the opponent. It's a very strong, puts in a lot of work, is actually scaled pretty well. But also, Goku Blue has a dive kick as well. This is very good for moving around the screen, escaping the corner. So if my opponent's pressuring me and I'm stuck up here right now, I dive kick out of the corner. Very good. You'll see me do it all the time. You'll also see me do the same thing with the shoulder as well. So test all the moves as well. Like, Goku Blue doesn't have access to just these tools. This last move that I'll say with Goku Blue can be read and can be predictable, but he has a instant transmission with quarter circle forward or back and special or X if you're on PlayStation. So what instant transmission does is if I do quarter circle forward and X, it'll bring me on the right side of him, assuming I'm on the left. If I do back, it'll keep me in front. So now, kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, so while Goku Blue has the movement option of instant transmissions, very good. It's actually +3, so you cannot backdash it. It can be punished with 2H. If you're very predictable with it, which people definitely can be, you can definitely get a pretty good punish off of this. So definitely, with your movement options, be aware of not just the strengths, but the weaknesses as well. Like, not every movement option is going to be perfect. Not every movement option is going to be optimal, but pay attention to the ones you have. Like even Trunks, for his situation, if I want to escape the corner, I have flip. I have that, or I have EX flip if I want to forward advance. Medium flip brings me backwards, so it's not prime for escaping the corner, but you know, get some ideas, like experiment, try stuff out. That's pretty much all I have for you guys this time as far as movement is considered. Vanish is technically a movement option, but it's also kind of a defensive mechanic as well. I'll save it for another time. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be talking about next, but definitely look forward to more videos going over the basics, going over some of the fundamentals, and in the future more advanced stuff as well. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you like this. Remember to drop a like, subscribe, share. Everything helps. Definitely, yeah, I appreciate any and all the support. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.